Hi guys, today we are going to do a little experiment using a glass jar with water in it, shaving cream, water that is dyed blue with some food coloring, and a water dropper. So I want you guys to think and pause the video on your own and kind of discuss to yourself how you think these four items and materials can be used to create part of the water cycle. So pause the video and think on your own. So we are going to create part of the water cycle, and I'm going to discuss what part of the water cycle that we're going to be creating as we go along in the experiment. So here we have some shaving cream that's going to act as our cloud. So I'm going to take our shaving cream and put it into our cup. It's going to lay, I have water up to about here, and the shaving cream is just going to kind of rest up on top of the water. So I want you guys to pause the video again and think on your own, how are the clouds formed in the water cycle? So pause the video and think on your own. So clouds, before clouds happen, we have something called evaporation, and we've discussed this. And evaporation is when water is the sun is creating heat that's kind of touching the water, and it's going upwards. It's becoming evaporated, and that's because of some source of heat, usually from the sun, and heating up the ocean. And so this is when a liquid is forming to a gas, or water is forming to a gas, and that is creating water vapor. And so that is right before the clouds form. And remember that water vapor isn't 100% a cloud yet, but eventually it moves throughout the air, and it reaches cold air, and then eventually that forms from a gas back to a liquid, which is forming a cloud through condensation. And so that's where we're at right here. We already have our clouds, so evaporation, water vapor, condensation have basically occurred. And so here we just have our cloud formed. And so then we're going to take our water, our blue water, and we're going to drop the water kind of all over our cloud. I think we might need to use a lot. It should soak in. And I want you guys to think on your own, what is happening when that cloud is full of so much water, and what happens to that water? As you can see right here, something's happening right there. So add some more water. You can see this is pretty cool looking. It's starting to come down a little bit. So what's happening here is precipitation. So the water throughout this cycle, throughout this water cycle, it started from an ocean. It's been heated up, and then it comes up into the air, that water into water vapor, and that's the liquid forming into a gas, and then that water vapor eventually hits cold air, forming condensation. And the condensation is because that water, or that gas, is now going back to a liquid. And then our cloud is getting pretty heavy, and so we have all of this rainfall coming down, and that's precipitation. And remember, precipitation, depending on the temperature, it could be rain, it could be snow, sleet, hail. It's all a form of water, but it depends how cold it is, so it's going to turn more icy. Like snow is kind of in between ice and water, or rain, and then hail would be a frozen solid, which is still water. So we have here still going on our precipitation, and see a lot going on. It's pretty cool. I'll show you guys it up close. You can see that there's still water in our cloud right here, and then it came down and it formed precipitation. So this is our little experiment about part of the water cycle.